good. I
That
don't think
was
I can do that again.
that
Real
was wicked.
professional.
That was wicked good, but you were about I think a second early. Go ahead, go again.
Welcome to the Dope and Tape Show, everyone. We have Steve. I said that you were at what did I say in my on Instagram? You
You
were
said
from
Rhode
like Long
Island.
Island? Yeah,
Long
Long Island, but
Island.
it's not. Where you at? I was
No, my shop's in Long Island.
Oh yeah?
Long Island, New York, yeah.
Long
Up
Island, yeah.
yours, Bobby. You were wrong.
No, you said Rhode Island.
Huh?
He's from Long Island.
Long Island, Rhode Island.
So
Okay.
Very different.
they're
All
very
right, my
different.
bad.
It's all
My
right.
bad.
It was good. I loved it. I was laughing. I'm glad you
I
kept it.
mean, yeah, it shows you how much I dedicate to Instagram. It's like
You got the
you
island
told me it
part.
was wrong. I was like, it's already up there.
It's
We're just gonna let it ride.
the- Wait, I thought Bobby said Long Island. Brian's saying Rhode Island.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
What'd you do today, Bry?
I I went to go look at a there was a building that caught on fire. It's a two-story, has an attic. It's a metal structure. Insurance saying that it needs a sprinkler system. So I went to go and walk that job and see where we had to get underground to come in from, the stub up, the size of the sprinkler system, and where we need to run systems at. So my idea, original design, they were like two systems, a wet and a dry to protect the attic. But since we're running the underground, we'll come up with a 6 inch, and I think that we should be able to cover the entire building with just one dry system instead of two.
Hmm.
So I did that. That took me a couple of hours. We got a verbal approval. It was like $160,000 for that, not including underground. And then I got a verbal approval for like a 50 something thousand dollar fire alarm job. So it was a good day.
Woo!
I didn't have time for lunch, but
Big
it was a
Bry's
good
killing
day.
it. Skip. It sounds like a day you could skip lunch, kid.
Yeah, yeah, I was busy.
Busy, busy.
Came home at like 3, went to the gym, got after it.
Oh, I never missed the gym.
What
We
about you,
are
Steve? What did you get
live.
into?
We're just preparing for a couple 5-year FTC tests. We just have a lot on our books and not enough help.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of pushing people along and trying to make everyone happy with their time frame.
So do you have a crew?
Yeah, yeah, we've got a couple guys other than me. We have a van, a couple trucks. We have one system that was down for a while. I'm trying to do a hydrostatic test on it, but it's a 30-year-old dry system with all light wall mains.
Hmm.
Oh
So,
wow.
so we probably replaced, at least half of it.
Jeez. Any
Yeah, every time we
corrosion in
fill it
there
up, it
too?
leaks.
Was there any corrosion in those light walls?
Uh, Disgusting, like you
Oh, I'm
wouldn't
sure.
believe.
I'm sure it
One-inch
was
lines
rough.
clogged. They did it all black, so everything, over the last how many years, everything's got pushed to the end of the lines. We had to flush everything. We replaced the majority of the system. It was a big to do. It was on the TV.
Oh, damn.
It was something I would have never took if I knew the story.
That's why you got
Right,
it.
right.
I was the fifth contractor.
Oh man. Like, yeah,
Jeez.
I'll do it.
Some people lost their license, got fined over it. People got thrown off the job. It was a bunch of
So does it make you nervous?
yeah. Just getting paid. That's what I'm worried about. You
Damn.
know,
Gotta hunt him
they
You
down.
paid
know,
a
I had a
lot, so
guy that he struggled to pay me over this year, and then he's in a bind. And I'm still gonna use him and take care of him, but he just has to pay me up front everything. Like typically, like if it's a job, you'll do, you 10% non-refundable, and then you also have your other funds. So by the time that you start it, it's like a 40%.
well, it's kind of
Um,
similar to my terms.
yeah.
For like a contract. I have a 20% on signing, and then
Mhm.
30% when we drop material.
So
So in theory, I have 50% as
this
I
guy's
show
gonna be
up.
like everything up
What's up,
front.
Quentin?
I mean, this guy, I think will do that for like a year, and then see where we're at next year.
Yeah, no, this guy showed up too. It's I said, look, you seem like a real honest guy, but my past experience is this, this, and this. We have to have an uncomfortable conversation about money, and then they were paying us weekly, so just
I mean, at the end of the day, it's business.
yeah, yeah, no,
Business
exactly
is
what it is. That's what we
business.
had to do, and he understood.
There's that glorious 5-minute mark. Um,
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. Dope and Tape, episode 32 with Steve. Anyone who's
30
just
freaking
joining
two,
us, if
man.
you're
It's
watching us
crazy.
live, you're watching the replay, we love you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. This is owner, part owner, partial owner,
Yeah,
majority owner.
I have a partner. I'm president of the company, but I have a partner.
LRJ Mechanical on Long Island joins us. We're happy to have him. Yeah, Jeremy was telling me about you.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Oh, look at
Definitely have some conversations.
that's what Jeremy sent me.
Dude, that's awesome.
I have to buy one of those. Ask Jeremy if he has one in Husky.
It confuses me though, because then on the back it has fucking Scotland on it.
Oh, that's dope.
It's got Vancouver on the arms, and I was gonna wear it for the show, but the white it makes me look like a ghost. Fire sprinkler on the hood, like when
Oh
I
yeah,
put the
with your
white on, it
lighting.
just like makes everything white, right? So then he said it came in a Spears box. So the mailman standing at my door knocking. I'm like, I never have to sign
Is
for
that a
a
custom
package.
drain bucket?
It's in a Spears box for like 1.5 inch elbows, and it's a drain bucket with a hose adapter and the sticker. Jeremy, that was
That's
fucking cool.
awesome.
Couple stickers. That was pretty
Shout
cool.
out his Instagram.
He's
It's
like
Rise and Force,
he's like
right?
I'm gonna send you a couple things. What's your address? And I didn't think I was gonna get like a bucket and a sweatshirt and shit. That was cool. Jeremy, thank you. That's yeah, that's Rising Force. Our brother from the north, Vancouver. Good
Yeah,
dude.
that's awesome.
Rising Force sprinkler.
No, I definitely picked his brain over
Bef-
the
to
last
start.
couple of years.
So all right, let's
Yeah.
how did you find sprinklers?
Uh,
What
it's a
age?
long story. I was just, I was a young guy. I was playing hockey. I was an engineering major. I hated school, but I just wanted to play sports. I ended up getting hurt, and then just I had some guys I grew up with in Queens, uh, and they were all just like, "Hey, this guy's paying well. Do you want to do this?" I'm like, "What is it?" So just fire sprinklers. I'm like, "No idea what it is." Like, I'll pay you, such an hour to show up. And I showed up almost 20 years ago with some gloves and a tape measure, and I guess the rest is history. You know,
That's awesome.
Fell in
here I
love with
am.
it. Someone always brings
So
you in.
buddy told you about it.
Yeah, he's like, "Come work for this guy. He's not cheap. He gives good raises." I'm like, "All right, that's all I need to hear."
What year was that?
I started doing sprinkler in '03, I think. Maybe '02, '03.
20 years.
Oh,
Oh wow.
three, because I'm almost at 20 years.
20 years in the business.
August is
How was
20
your
years.
experience as an apprentice?
Well, that shop was non-union, so it was just the Wild West. You do, whoever does the best, whoever learns the best, whoever
Yeah.
performs the best goes to the top. There's no structure per se.
Yeah.
Which I think I prefer. I definitely prefer the structure of a union. So you don't have really bad guys, crappy working guys, that become foremen. People who are not ready.
Yeah.
But I think
I
the
like that
union may
y'all are
push someone
tested.
through.
Huh?
I think maybe the union might push someone through because of their time. My time
Yeah.
didn't matter. It's whoever performed, the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
They just needed
It can
people.
go both ways. Yeah. You learn a lot. You learn it's different learning tactics whether you're union or non-union.
Well, a lot was up to me. It'd be awesome to have a school to go to.
That's what I'm saying. Non-union,
Yeah.
you're kind of all alone, and you hopefully you get stuck with a guy that's gonna teach you and he knows what he's doing. But if he's a jackass, then you're gonna be doing some jackass shit that he taught you. Where the union, you could have this nice fancy school, but it still doesn't always produce A+ people. You know what I mean?
No.
Well,
Like
yeah, I
anything in the
can
world.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
I
mean,
tried to go backwards to the union years ago.
You tried to get in?
Well, I tried to go in as an apprentice. Like I was going to give up being, a foreman
Yeah. And what
and go to.
was your experience tough to get in?
Well, I have my own company and I never got in, so
Right.
didn't really work out.
Yeah, it just didn't work
They're
out.
like, oh, it was just political stuff. At the time, it was like, hey, we got to take 3 people. We got to take one person of this color, one person of this. Any women can join. You're a white dude. All those are going to cousins and sons. So good luck. And
Pick a
it is
number.
what it is.
You get like number 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what certifications do you have now through your journey?
Well, I don't really have a real. I'm not. There is no real journeyman, to be honest. It's just I have. I'm a license holder in. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Long Island, but basically for my company, our company, I have a license for install in Nassau County. I have a license for inspection and testing in Nassau County. But then I hold certificates of fitness for both of those in the county. So, like, if you wanted to come and be like you wanted to come do service in Nassau County, you would have to get a certificate of fitness type 2, pass a test to do it, otherwise you would have to be a help. And then in Suffolk County, it's just the Wild West. I just have licenses, and for the county, I have licenses for towns, and then you would just, in theory, if you just Bobby showed up tomorrow, I threw him in the van, he would work under my licenses, but
Right.
he would have to hold the license in Suffolk County.
Now you have to be attached to someone with an engineering certification, right? In order to have those licenses.
No,
Really?
no, I'm
Damn.
standalone. My plans are stamped by an engineer,
So
but I am not affiliated with an engineer for my licensing.
Oh, so you pay for that kind of out? You pay for that like a sub? You sub out an engineer to
Yeah,
stamp
well,
yeah,
it?
you can
if
do
I have
that.
a,
It's
if I
like
have a project coming, I'll tell him this is what I want to do. This is the drawings I want. The guy I have he's an engineer, in house, so he'll design it and then stamp it. A lot of guys try to save money. They'll have a designer and then get it stamped by an engineer.
Oh,
Because I
so
just have
here
a
in
great guy.
Georgia, we have to be attached to a sprinkler guy,
But why?
like a sprinkler engineer. We have
But
to
what's the
be
attachment though?
our state
A nice
license.
it or
No, yeah. So he would have a nice set level 3, and then have the license holder, and then that gentleman can then hold a license for Georgia. But you can also lease out his license in Georgia. I think up to like 5 times, but it cannot be in the same state, I believe. So he can do
uh-huh.
it. Let's say I have an engineering license here. I can lease out my license to a company here in Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, and then usually the money for a lease on licensing is like $2,000 a month.
So you have to talk to me because I'm in the process of becoming taking that water-based design nice just for my company. So,
Yeah, you can
in the
lease it,
next few
man. You
months, I'll
can,
probably do level 2, and then I'll go for level 3, which is much harder.
and you're gonna
yeah. So you would have to have a
you
level 3
lease
in
it,
order to
huh?
hold that license down
But
here in
that
the
isn't
South.
necessary. That's
Yeah,
just for me.
yeah.
And then also they could do the inspection and testing nice at fire sprinkler.
Huh.
See, that's the thing, man. It's not our industry is not cookie cutter. It's not the same. Like especially each region is vastly different.
Yeah, like you guys can't come here. You guys can't come to Mass and work.
No,
Doesn't matter what kind of qualifications you have. You're gonna take our test, or
yeah.
you're gonna be either be treated like a registered apprentice, and you go it that way, or you can show your credentials and probably go right for the Massachusetts journeyman test. But
That's what would happen for me, I think.
you
If I
wouldn't be.
showed up as a hey, I have to do a job in, wherever.
Bam, you just sign up, take the test for Massachusetts. It's compared to like Connecticut, it's much easier.
But I would
Um,
just show up with my licenses, say, hey, this is my credentials, then sign me up for the test. Let's go do this.
that's it. And then you could do sprinklers here. But it's crazy to think that you could just like I could just go to some of these states and work.
Absolutely, by me. You could show up tomorrow and say, hey, I got thrown out. Can I come work with you? We'll load you up in the truck
Coming
and
down to
hey,
Long Island. So I got my best
right
friend lives
here.
on Long Island, and
So
Sal,
Bobby,
Sal, who I talk to a lot, is on Long Island. What's up, Bry?
your son can turn 18 years old. Come down here to Georgia, pay a designer $2,000 a month, and run a crew.
Damn, that sounds good.
I don't have to pay a designer. I just pay for their
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Well, you have to have his license attached to your company. That's what I'm saying.
Depending on where I am, he could be like 18 years old, and we could just be like a first day apprentice. He could have him running a crew.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
correct.
He's got this week at school, and then following 2 weeks off for March break. I don't know, however it works at the school he's going to. It's a little bit weird, but I'm trying to take him to the job. I'll take him to the job a couple times, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. I let my boys see me flow some giant hydrants. Like some, when I say giant hydrants, I mean like the flow. You know that they're attached to a diesel pump and they're pumping
Those summers are crazy.
freaking water.
A lot of
Yeah,
water.
they just and it was a sunny day too, so you saw the rainbow. I mean, it was legit.
You just got a
It was
bunch of
cool.
bunch of
I
grown
let
men
that
just
sucker
staring at
flow.
water, huh? Everyone just
I
looks at
got
anyone's in
there's a
the area
place by
stares at it.
me. There's a place by me that has the wildest street pressure.
Yeah,
Like I'm talking like,
Ours is
we're
Cobb
flowing
County.
at like 125, 130 static. We're flowing at 115 pitot. The ground shaking. No fire pump,
That's the coolest
just
thing when the
coming down
ground
hills.
shakes.
Where's Sal? Sal's like a municipal guy on Long Island, like a water treatment
Yeah.
guy. Um, and then I got a lineman buddy. I'm gonna come camp out with Kyle
What
in
did you
Long
do
Island.
today, Bobby? What did you do today? That just fucking was terrible. What did you do today,
Did you see
Bobby?
Shaggy? Shaggy says, Brian, what state does Bobby live in?
He lives in the state that Boston is in. That
So
that's their main city.
I put on my first ever 1-inch Vic fucking coupling flex head.
Did you get nervous?
Flex head. No, I loved it. I love doing new shit. It went on great. It's a flex head with a 1-inch Vic on the fucking attachment side, and my branch lines have 1-inch grooved outlets.
Was it a new install or retrofit?
Okay.
It's a retrofit, but it's all brand new pipe. And they just want
Okay.
we're super last. They did coordination and design and everything, and they just completely forgot about the sprinkler. So I got a call one day. They're like, "Hey, why don't you come look at something?" They tried like putting it on my plate. I had to like that's not my job. I gave it to the office, and they're like, "This is like a whole job. We got to design this." And we're just winging it. And so they sent me out. That's what they sent me. Dude, it's fast. It is so fast.
I don't know if you're doing what we're doing. If we have projects like that, we can use the flex heads or the groove, all that kind of stuff. We're taking all the flex heads, stolen the sprinkler heads, zip tying them up, and we're doing a hydrostatic test before you even put your ceiling in.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Now,
do.
now as an owner, I'm billing to 90%,
That's probably what we'll do, I bet. So right
telling
now,
you,
every
look,
time
we're done.
when you put the branch line up, you put the whip in, you zip tie it, bro, that's done. That's ready for a grid right then and there.
That's
You're
crazy.
literally ready
Zip
for
tie
grid. You just zip tie
it.
the flexi up there so nobody fucks with it. And
And I do my hydro.
double o
So
nine
now I'm like, hey,
double
I'm
o nine
90% done.
coupling. I got a 12-foot Hilti power actuated gun. So I'm shooting all my hangers from the ground. I got Jim going ahead of me shooting the
I
hangers
have
from
to
the
see that
ground.
one. I haven't done
And
that yet.
I think I posted. It's on my story. It's on my story right now. You can
I have to
watch it
check
after
it.
this. But yeah. So Big Jim's going ahead. He's fucking banging in the hangers from the ground, and most of it's beam clamps. Most of it's beamers. But
Right.
What do you do in the BIM? Was it BIM?
what?
Like you find like, hey, they load everyone's blueprints into the computer and they say who has
Oh yeah,
like
BIM.
who has who?
Not
Yeah.
on this job.
Okay.
This job I'm fucked. There's an existing sprinkler system at 9.2, and they put my brand new system at 9.1.5.
Oh, that'll work
And
out
the
great.
existing system's a grid, and this new system is not a grid, and we're going obviously through every fucking line. So I just bumped it right up to 9.5, which gets me under the ductwork, and
Oh, I saw that with your laser.
just bumped that thing up. I just went up a little bit. Whatever. We're last in, so you got to make it go fast somehow. And then these fucking whips are crazy, crazy, crazy. Love it. I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you could give
I
one
mean,
piece of advice to an apprentice that's listening, Steve, what would it be?
uh, I mean, today, I don't know. Shut the fuck up. Leave your phone in the truck.
I like
leave
that.
Two
your
things of
phone in the
advice.
Leave your phone in the
truck.
truck.
You make leave it
And
must have
shut the
vape in
fuck
it
up.
too.
That'd be a tough one for me to leave my phone in the truck.
But you're not the
What about a
apprentice.
vape? You let him bring his vape in his pocket?
I'm in a hospital, bro. You're not vaping. And when,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have it in your pocket, and when we step outside, better not fucking blow in my face. But you're in hospitals. Usually, you can't even
That's
smoke like within the area of the
the
hospital. The
vape thing
sidewalk
is
is
blown
illegal.
up. I think
Yeah,
it's terrible for you. It has exploded. They're
leave your
so freaking addicting.
leave your feelings in the truck and don't be a puss.
Leave your
Damn,
feelings
there's a
in
lot
the
of shit you guys gotta leave in the truck. I try to
There's a lot
load
of distractions.
I try to load my pockets before I get out of the truck with everything I need. Stay 3 feet from your fitter.
tater tots and everything.
That's a good. That was a good question. I guess we're getting all kinds of fucking feedback. Keep them coming. Comments.
I had a
Yeah.
guy once who had actually had a real brain injury. Could be the best helper ever, but just every day was his first day, and it wasn't his fault
Oh,
because of an injury.
What
because
do you
of the
mean every
injury.
day?
Like literally
Oh,
every day, couldn't remember anything. But he would call me at 6:40. I'm using the porta potty. I'm not late, and would follow me around like a little kid and just stand under my ladder and beg for direction. But the problem was, whatever I told him never sunk in because he had a legitimate brain injury,
Oh
and
man,
every day was his first day.
could have been a
wow.
super fitter right there.
I'll never forget. I was in this little crawl space trying to do this, add this main drain to this bullshit setup, and I'm like, I know he's fucking a little slow. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, I need you to get me a ratchet. This is the nut. You got to find the socket, fits the nut, and bring me the ratchet so I can do this. So I can't get out. Comes back and he goes, I can't find it. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you know what the socket was. I don't know what it is. And I'm just like, I tried to throw the bucket through the space. I'm like, what do you think was going to happen? You don't know what it is. What do you think was going to jump out and tell you who they are?
Yeah.
And I had to have the site the built. There's actually a hospital. The hospital engineer had to take him out there and hold his hand and show him which socket fit the nut. I'm like, should be home free. Should be home free. I gave you the nut.
Oh
Make sure the
man,
socket fits this.
poor
And then I
guy.
said, make sure to bring the ratchet with the socket, you fucking idiot. And nothing.
Nothing.
Just blind.
Poor guy. That's great.
Jeez.
But just
No, I
wanted
did
to
a
be there so
job.
bad.
I did some pipe replacement, 4-inch pipe replacement, um, for a dry system with a guy who's deaf. And I was on the way. I had like an hour drive. I'm like, all right, how am I going to communicate with this guy? And but he knew his stuff. He ran his own van, and we did great. Like he knew his stuff, I knew my stuff. And we just kind of communicated through pointing and like hand signals and
It's doable.
flawless. No,
My
yeah.
brother-in-law
I
doesn't
mean,
speak
we
English.
knew what needed to happen, and it was no problem.
My brother-in-law is Spanish only, and I have him help me. I have him help me do shit. We can get along just fine. A couple words he knows and just pointing.
Yeah,
That's it.
especially when you know the task together.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Steve is the
That's
man,
for sure.
brother. Where are those
So what do you
Got a
comments
good
got
coming
going on
from?
at the
Spanish issue.
hospital,
You want to hear a
Bobby?
funny Spanish story?
Yeah.
I'm in a building by myself. Used to work for a shitty company, so I'm doing service by myself, and I got to drill a few mechanical this other stuff by myself on the top step of a 6-foot ladder. I drill into this 4-inch main, pull out the pilot bit, and the water goes past my face up to the ceiling. And I go, oh no! And I put my finger over the pilot hole, but I'm by myself, and now I'm yelling for the one guy that's there, and he doesn't speak any English. And now I'm like, amigo, you gotta help me, you gotta help me. And I'm like, he's like, look at me. I move my finger for a second, put it back, and the water sprays past my face, and I put my finger back over. And he's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, you gotta go to the Blanco van and get the basura can and bring it to me so we catch the mucho agua that's coming from here. And thank God, whatever little words I knew, this great young gentleman saved me.
That's
And he brought
awesome.
that down. I wanted to hug him, like mucho amigo. I love you.
That's great.
Like I saved my day.
We got Christian on YouTube. Shout out, Steve, great guy. Steve is the man, brother.
So as long as you've been
Christian
doing this,
Mason.
you have to have some flood stories.
Dude, I got a list of stories because I'm a prepared person, and I strive for excellence. I have a list of 6 stories in
Six.
front of me. Where do I start? And then I thought of more.
Let's go. Let's hear some.
Do you want to hear about a criminal? I'm sure the statute of limits over. I was a
Tiamo,
helper.
amigo.
I was a helper on this big job. I used to work with a bunch of criminals, like the worst of the worst. Great guys made poor decisions. And this the foreman Java, big huge fat Italian, looks at Superman and calls me and like, you gotta no, one of the guys called me and said, you gotta go help Java load the van. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, man. So I go. It's a it's like a mid-rise, like 9-story, couple wings, 2 underground parking garages. So I go over by him and I gotta help him. He's like, we gotta get this gang box off the job. I'm all right, cool. I'm like, he's like, all right, here's the wrench. I gotta push it. I'm trying to push this gang box into his van, and I'm looking at my job. I'm like, it's so heavy. Can we just unload the tools and put it on the truck, and then we'll just put the tools in? He's like, shut the fuck up and push. I'm like, all right, Joe. I was a helper at the time, and we kept pushing. Some other guys helped me get this fucking van, everything loaded up. We close the door, and I go back to work. I find out 6 months later, he stole a gang box worth of marble tile for his side job doing tile work. It had to
Damn.
been 50, 60,000. Like the units were, whatever, 15 years ago we were doing these units, and they were million, 1.2 million, and he stole a gang box worth of their Italian marble.
The game box with push it.
Screaming, I'm like, Joe, why can't we take him out? Shut the fuck up and push. I'm like, okay,
You didn't want anybody
push
to see
harder,
it.
sir.
Just fucking
I'm
push
the
it.
helper.
That's excellent. You were the helper's thief.
No idea.
So he got caught, right? And I guess he
No,
went to
nothing.
jail.
Nothing ever came of it.
Nothing.
The same project,
We need
they were
more marble.
signing it off. He was yelling at me because they had leaks and they're behind schedule. So let's say the marshal's on like floor 3. I'm on floor 7, pumped up, and I'm looking around. I'm like, let me take this empty Chinese food container. I'll move this ceiling tile over and I'll put it under the leak. And then I'll run over here and I'll break up 6 tiles and put them on top of the tiles. So the drip has to go through 8 ceiling tiles to show up.
That
It
was
was a
his.
circus. Signed off.
Is that steel?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And dope and tape. Do you use dope and tape?
I would not. I only use dope as for manufacturer cut sheets.
I love that.
You
Dope
know, it's not
only?
that dope and tape work awesome together. You should always use them. I only use dope as the manufacturer say, unless I'm doing a sprinkler head with just tape.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly,
Whatever the
allegedly they work
manufacturer
great
says,
together.
that's what I do too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Toronto, tuning in from Toronto.
whatever.
Christian from Toronto. And
Yeah, I spoke
Ryan.
to that guy earlier.
Oh, Christian?
Hmm.
There's a lot of us on here, man. We're all getting connected. It's the movement. It's the
They even
It
movement.
say
really
he's
is.
gonna
I
move
mean,
by me.
it has blown up so fast because like we're sharing stories with each other. We're getting people
There's definitely
excited about
they're
fun,
posting
excited about
more.
going to
I'm
work.
seeing more sprinkler shit than ever on Instagram.
Yeah.
People who have never posted are
Before it was
posting.
only sprinkler life,
Yeah.
and he would reshare and then he would get some dope stories and then make them in the reels
And then
and post them pictures.
everybody's posting them now. Everyone's posting what they're working on. I love it. I want to see it. Show me. Tag me. Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us another
Even if
story,
you're in
Steve.
fire alarm, whatever.
I have one actually with my brother.
Where the fuck?
My brother worked with me for a couple of years, and then he was like that wasn't his thing, but he did it for a couple of years, so can't hate on it. He made it through. But we were doing this. I don't know if you guys do it by you, but we had a bunch of buildings that were built in like the '70s, where it's like a high warehouse and the front is low office. So these sprinkler systems, what they would do is they'd come down
Mhm.
where it's going to go into a low office, and they would
Underlay.
just put a boiler drain or low point drain, just put a plug
Yeah.
in the warehouse side, and then that's how you would drain you drain offices.
Yeah. I would refer to
So
that as an underlay. An
okay, I never
underlay
heard of that.
system. It's
But
fed.
yeah,
It's
that's
fed from up top. You're gonna take all that water down there, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that valve was now buried in the middle of this new extension with all these new offices and all the stuff. So it was in like a weird spot. We could never get it out. So we just had to put this in like a big garbage can, all the shit. Did a bunch of work with him. We're in a rush. We're filling up. And I'm filling up and finally gets to where it's full. And I open up the retard chamber and the bell goes off. I'm like, what the fuck? So I shut it and start fucking around. And I'm looking, I'm like, playing with like, why does the bell keep going off? Something stuck in the fucking clamp, all this shit. And all of a sudden I go, fuck, that fucking valve in the middle of the building's open. So I tell my brother, you gotta go there. And he starts going. I'm like, fucking run. Now he's running down this whole little shit. The fucking thing's like a cobra. It's spraying all over this new room. So we left the 1 inch outlet wide open on a hose. But the kicker is that room was a special room that had special grounding on the floor. Like all the boxes ran copper lines from boxes to the tiles. The worst room ever to get water all over. And we're freaking out. I bought like the GC some cigarettes. I'm like, I know you got to tell people, but take these smokes. If you're gonna tell people, you don't got to tell people. And nothing came of it. I had a couple of blowers. We called it a day.
Couple
I was working for
blows.
someone at the time, so I just
Couple.
called home. Yeah, I rented blowers. We had a little leak, and he's like, all right, take care of it.
That's it. That's fucking sick. Fucking-
Fuck, the
Shut the
worst room
drain.
ever.
Shut the low point before you
Yeah.
fill.
So I was in Atlanta. There was 3 crews out there. I was an apprentice this time, and I was at a large fire protection company here in Atlanta, the biggest. And I'm with these guys. The foreman and as well as the helpers, none of them were very bright. And um, we were going to let's see here. We moved 9 heads, and then another sprinkler company came out, and then had like I want to say a 10-story, 12-story building in Atlanta, and the another foreman and his helper. I see them in the what was it, the stairwell, and he's just like unscrewing the cap of the standpipe. I don't know if you should do that, and he just keeps opening it. And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna look inside, see what's going on. I said, I think you should just like, leave it alone. So I back up and I'm start going up the stairwell. Well, he opens it, and then the valve is open too. So the water pushed the cap off, and it's just flowing out of a 2.5 inch opening. And he tries to put the cap back in, and the stairwell is just filling up with water. And I was like, I told you. I was like, I'm running. I leave after enjoying it, soaking it in for a second. I ran down to another stairwell and went down and turned off the pump, but I mean, it was flooded. You know those like stories that on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, those videos where the water is like up to the window of the door,
Yes.
and it's like
At the
it
bottom of
was
the
like that
stairwell.
down at the bottom.
That's sick. That's a lot of water.
That
So
job that
much
I was telling
water.
you about with that guy, the real criminal, with all the bad sign offs,
Yeah.
one of the scariest blowouts I've ever been a part of when I was a helper. They were doing 200-pound testing in the staircases. That's why you still reminded me. Above a finished sheetrock ceiling, a 6-inch coupling wasn't tight enough and it separated, but it filled up above the sheetrock, and then literally a bathtub of water, and the whole board came down, slamming onto the landing
Whew.
of the staircase, which would have definitely killed someone. And then just all of a sudden it's going down to zero. The water's running down the stairs.
Oh man, that's so much damage when the water gets loose.
No, but it wasn't a lot of damage. It was just roughed in units at the time. It wasn't like
Oh right.
it wasn't bad for the rock. It was just scary. What happens if some dumb fuck was there
Just walking, squished
and
by
you get hit by
sheetrock.
a board full of water?
And then you drowned.
So I have a flood story too. Another one. I might have said it. I don't remember. I don't think so. But I'm sure y'all are familiar with the brand of hotel called the St. Regis.
St. Regis.
Yeah. So it's extremely high end
What's up, Kenny?
in in, in Atlanta. It's one of the hotels that they also have condos in Atlanta. Extremely high end. It actually has, I think, inside the St. Regis, it has what's called a Michelin restaurant. So Michelin restaurants, some of the finest restaurants and food in the entire world.
Oh damn. What happened? You
You know
flooded
what
you
started,
flooded this
right?
If you
place?
still,
Do you know the Michelin started?
huh?
Do you know how Michelin stars started?
How?
Didn't they want to do like a star system so they know where the
No, it was
um
Michelin tires,
yeah, yeah.
and they would make like a star thing, and the more stars you had, it was worth traveling there to sell more tires. It's like,
Huh.
oh, Bobby's place has 5 stars. It's a Michelin rated place. Go drive there.
Yeah, but their stars are for like extremely high end restaurants.
Exactly. And it started with the tire company.
Huh. And,
Like if you go eat here, it's like a couple grand.
Yeah.
And
It's
Brian
And it
crazy.
flooded it.
started with shit you not started with the tires to make
He
you
said we
drive
can
there.
we can split appetizers and have water, not sparkling water, water from just a sink,
$500.
half ice. Yeah. It's like-
All right, tell us how
so
you
so
flooded it.
so all right. So they do everything
So how'd you
to the
run lunch?
inspection wise. Everything that's required in a PA 25, they do it fully, exactly how it says. So with that saying, um, we were not us, it was another company. So one of my friends was on the job and he called me, told me about it like right after. And of course, after something like that, like you know how small the industry is, like everybody knew in Atlanta within the day.
Travels.
Yeah. So there's
Bunch
I
of
want to say
gossip girls.
there's 6 inch mains that have back-to-back 90s on every floor. And what they're doing is doing the hydrostatic testing with the fire pump on. So they're kicking it on with the valve, opening the valve, getting this, doing the test, closing the valve, turning the pump off, going up to the next floor. And it was one of the like middle floors where they kicked it on and then boom, one of the 90s blew out. So it's just pumping water down through the elevator shaft onto the lobby. I mean, it was
Right into the fancy place with the sushi.
incredible. Yeah, it was just freaking nuts.
A lot of water. Sometimes
I
people
mean,
are
think about it,
they don't
six
want to
inch
cough up the video.
with a pump. Like I can only imagine seeing that amount of
Like the
water.
elevator guy on the last job had a sick video of water just coming out of like the second floor, spilling into this brand new finished atrium. But he was didn't want to send the video to me. Same thing.
Oh man.
Labor had a sick sprinkler leak video where it was just like it was like a pond, and didn't want to send it. Some people are some people are stingy with their videos, man. Let me get
I
the
gotta find
Yeah.
an old one.
let me get the videos.
I have an old one of there was a freeze up a couple years ago, and a 6 inch Model E reliable wet alarm valve just froze and blew out.
Oh,
Like I had a picture of it, like holding like a third of the valve, and we couldn't get anywhere near it. We were with electric, it was super cold out, couldn't get anywhere near it, and we had to go like find a special shut off and go down in there. It was
Jeez. I
so
gotta
it was
I
so
gotta
it was just running and running and running.
for like I pulled up and just water's going down out of this warehouse,
Oh
kind of like
damn,
loading docks. And
that's
then
fucking
I'm like
I
crazy.
rolled up to a
I'm not
service
going near
call where
that.
I had to put on my boots, like my rubber boots, and walk inside.
No, they bought me cement boots from Home Depot to go into the vault to shut off that system.
Holy shit.
The GC, not GC, the property management. Sorry.
Oh
I keep
goodness.
big rubber boots in my van, like size 12s that I can just
Yeah.
fit my boots in.
Yeah, I have rubber boots, big rubber boots. They're awesome. I love them.
Gotta
They're
have them.
my do everything boots. I can do anything with those things.
That's it. I wore them when I was in the tank. I was in that 150,000 gallon tank waiting for that baby to fill up, checking it out, taking videos, and they told me not to.
Oh man.
Not that
So
you
I got
guys
a
have a
question.
sponsor. You ever use the Brunt boots?
No, but I've been seeing them more and more.
I got a pair.
Yeah, they good?
Not complaining. I'm a Red Wing guy for years.
I switched to Thorogood when Red Wing sold out to China.
Yeah, I got Thorogoods too. Me and Bobby used the same boots. Man, I love them. Just that leather is just top
And
notch.
MidwestBoot.com, another plug. Man, we just give out plugs and no one's willing to sponsor us still. But they'll ship you boots like overnight. I swear they're like just as quick as Amazon.
So I got a question for you guys. Steve, you can go first.
Hit us.
Okay.
When was a time that you had a job that you were like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Whew.
I
Because
don't
we're
think
all career guys here. I mean, you started a freaking company, but I'm sure you've had a time that you were like, this sucks. I want to go home.
I don't know, man. I've had some like I'm just cold or I'm wet, but I never had one that's like I don't want to do this anymore. To be honest,
I got one. I know
I
exactly
had some
which one.
moments.
I was in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is like the fucking armpit of the country. And it's a very long ride for me. And we were doing an attic in the shittiest, oldest building. It's called Forest Hills. And there was like a Mexican place outside, a Mexican truck outside that would make these cheap, kind of disgusting tacos now that I think about it. And but we would get them every day. And I was up in that hot attic with that, burping up that those nasty tacos, and it was like
Oof.
dusty insulation and like asbestos dust. And I was crouched down, and I took the corner of my like my head to the corner of a duck, split me open, gave me a concussion. I was throwing up like within an hour after banging my head. So far from home, like probably that's like an hour and a half ride for me to go to Springfield. Concussed, dusty, sweaty, heartburn. Fuck that place. I just wanted
Jeez.
to go home. I'll never forget that place.
So I
Suffering.
had a time where I had a time that I just like, there has to be a better way. And that's when I went into, so it was like a back to back event. So it was like a Tuesday and then a Wednesday. And then that Wednesday, I called my dad. I was like, all right, I want to get out of the field. Like, I want to stop doing service. I'm ready to do inspections. It was like that moment.
Oh
And
damn.
so the Tuesday, there was some sprinkler by broke in the freezer warehouse. It wasn't in the freezer area, but it was in the docking station. So it's like, I don't know, 28 degrees, 25 degrees. And I'm out there, trying to replace piping. My hands, I can't feel my hands, so I had to warm up my hands and then work some more. And I had to put clothing, so I was freezing my ass off. And I was like, this freaking sucks. And then the
Yeah, shit was
next
like that
day,
too.
because it's in the middle of summer, so we were working in this like doctor's office, and they still had to keep negative pressure, but there was no AC in there, and it was, I don't know, I think it was like in the like 98, 99, maybe in the three digits outside, and it was hotter inside. And I'm over there hanging a dry pipe up in the attic.
Are you
And
always
I
in
was
the
just like,
attic in the hottest days? Like,
That's what I was gonna say.
no one ever does an attic in the winter. Never heard
No,
of it.
it's mid-July you're in the attic, and then all of a sudden you're outside. At the end of
mm.
February, freezing your
Fucking
nuts off, walking the
freezing
And
in
snow.
an open
it was
building.
just those 2 days together that was like, I'm done. Screw this.
Kenny's got a pair of brunts. He says it doesn't have enough arch. They're good for flat-footed people. Huh. I don't know if I'm.
So are they like brunt? Are you talking about the slip-ons?
No, they look like
No, it's just boots.
they look like Irish setters.
I'm gonna look them up.
They're the same style. They're the same style we got, just a different
Okay,
brand.
they are cheaper.
Yeah, they could.
I had the same kind of thing that
They
he
should
had.
sponsor the show. I'll put their logo up for the first 10
They would
seconds.
do it.
We're gonna interrupt this program right now for a
Are they durable?
ad from our sponsors.
I like them so far. I've had them for a few months.
Sponsor A and sponsor B.
I had a pre-action
Thank you
system
so much, sponsors.
that
That's
was
how it
getting
could be like.
like the cleaning crew was washing everything and would short it out. It would discharge the system into the blast freezer, and it did it one time and froze solid. I
Oh,
was like, they all they did was make muffins there. They made muffins and froze them, and it was just
Whoa.
weeks of the same thing. It's like, this is too cold. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They have to shut certain sections of the blowers off. It's like minus 80. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna die. So we have to shut these blowers off. You take this pipe down, bring it outside, and you put it back in. Another one from yesterday.
I was spending like
And
40 bucks a
no
week
one
on
talks
hand
about how
warmers.
heavy those pipes are. Like how
The
freaking
six
heavy.
inch, 6 inch
Yeah,
full of water, frozen.
So heavy.
You could never pick it up at the lift. It would just
that's
scream on the way
ridiculous.
down with us in.
He's just waiting to blow a fucking hose.
Yeah, just crying
Uh,
all the way down.
So much weight.
I have the ring from Brunt. All of their insoles are the same in all boots. The ring. Bobby, I can get you in touch with
The
Brunt.
ring.
Yeah, tell him to holla. Let's go. This show has been sponsored
It's
by
worth a try, man.
Sponsor A.
But that one place was the coldest I've ever been.
The
That one
coldest.
freezer, the coldest. Yeah.
Do you use your horn when you're driving?
No,
You don't use your horn?
no.
Do you speed around?
Just roll through. Out of my way. It's life safety.
You
Out of
don't
my
you don't
way.
honk you don't honk at people?
No.
Damn.
You gotta watch for me.
What
Too
about
important business.
speeding around? Do you speed on the highway?
No, no, I do not. I would never agree to that. I would never bring that up. As a business owner, I'm always worried about liability,
You're
and I would
good.
never do that. I
You're
drive at 55, maybe 54 at the most,
I love it.
and right lane only.
Great speed limit.
Right lane only. First time chatter. Maine Sprink. Just did an attic up here in Maine. Caught myself thinking I'd rather it warm. Damn, Maine Sprink. What up, dog? What are you doing up in Maine? The way life should be. Maine. Thanks for
So,
chatting, bro.
so Brian, I got a question for you,
Yeah.
bud. I'm gonna put you
Hit
on the
me with it.
spot. I've been listening to a lot of these podcasts here, and I see you looking around for jobs. You're doing this and this. You find a job, and what incited you about this job that you liked was that there was no limit to what you could do at this place. And then, as a business owner, my point to that is, if you're going to work for someone, there'll always be a limit. So why aren't you starting, the actual Atlanta Fire owned by Brian?
So our friend over at Rising Force Sprinkler, I was supposed to meet with him and talk to him about opening a company. So I have two sons, and I have to legally provide insurance as well as for myself. And then um, we just me and my fiance we just opened a small batch, small farm, single origin coffee company.
Okay.
Um, so in a couple years, we want to open a brick and mortar, and if I had that plus a company, then I would have to also. So I don't. We're not really an apartment at two in for like 2 years, so I don't really have a basement to store equipment in. It's just I just don't think it's the time right now. I think I'm gathering information and stuff. I'm really good at sales, and I have a lot of experience in the field. And
And you're still
I,
young.
yeah, mean, and then as you like, I don't like in my mind, I'm kind of thinking about my day to day, and so I am chasing money. I'm chasing accounts. I'm trying to chase new business. I'm getting the business
Yeah,
done.
no.
I'm
Honking
Trust me, I
away.
get
huh?
it.
Just honking at everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy, I get it. Don't worry. But, why are you
Um.
sharing it?
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe, like you said, this was at the right time. I don't want to put you on
I
the
just don't think
spot,
it's the
but I'm
right
like, you
time.
guys are go getters, and I'm listening to this, and I'm listening to what you like, and what your reason for this job. And I'm like, well, the real answer, I think, is this guy needs to be on his own from the outside looking in.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Give Brad guy some
In my
time.
humble opinion, not to put you on the spot, but I understand you got a bunch of other, you know, your dependents. Same thing for me.
I appreciate it, and it is scary, man. It's scary to
Oh,
make
no
that leap.
shit.
And insurance
You
is
like
Yeah.
big.
gambling? You want to gamble? How about
Yeah.
gambling where your family's going to sleep next month? That's a
Woo!
fucking gamble.
Hell
You
yeah.
be able to pay that mortgage? You want to gamble?
Let's
That's
gamble.
gambling.
I think insurance is the scariest thing for someone trying to open a sprinkler company or any, you know, construction trade company. really that insurance, and not only insurance for the company, so if you fuck up, they don't come take your house, but insurance for your family in case something happens too. Those two things have to start up like right away. And how are you going to do that if you don't have any money coming in?
Well, for us, we're lucky. Like my shop's lucky. Me, and then Nick. One of the other owner is that we have wives that have insurance. That's why we're able to do this.
Oh, right.
So I'm not there
That's a great
yet.
idea.
So
The
Sarah,
wife for
Got to get
insurance.
the wives insurance.
well, both. So so Sarah is from Colombia.
Give it
So
time, Wayne says.
yes,
That's what I'm
like
thinking.
next year, she'll probably sometime next year she'll get her green card. So and at that point I can put her on insurance. But I don't think she can have insurance from a company.
Chris,
I
what
don't
up?
know. It takes time.
No, trust me, I get it, buddy. I understand all the fears.
But I
What's
want
up,
to
logo?
learn. It's a thing, and I don't know if I want to. I don't. I am thinking about it. I really am.
It's always on your mind. That's got to be something that's
Yeah,
always on your mind.
absolutely. But liability and always. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep and worrying about guys in trucks when I wake
No,
up and
that's
see a
that's the
guy.
that's the gut check.
Yeah, I might not wake up and watch the news and see my truck flipped over. So there was a company here in Atlanta, and I was talking to the owner and stuff. We went to lunch, and he said one day he woke up, saw the news, his phone had like 30 missed calls, and there was a truck sideways, flipped upside down on the highway,
Atlanta's
No,
pipe
for me,
different.
that's
That
everywhere.
thing would
no,
be
for
on.
me, that's the gut check. Like, I live in a world where my choices affect other people's families, and you need to really think long and hard if you want to take that kind of responsibility.
Yep.
And that's the real burden of a business owner. It's not you're going to make a ton of money and all the shit that they talk about in the field. The real burden is, are you going to accept that your decisions will affect some other kid that you don't even know, or the guy that works for you, son, can he play hockey this year because of your choices? And that's the true
Yeah,
burden of an
That's the
owner.
burden to take.
yeah, and you're the last one to get paid. Your employees pay first, and then you pay the bills,
Absolutely,
and then you pay
because
yourself.
I'm a leader. I don't want to sound like a dickhead or
Yep.
pompous, but I'm a leader. Because I'm a leader, of course I'm going to be the last to pay. I
Yep.
wouldn't have it any other way. To me, it's not a hindrance. It's a thing of pride.
Yep. There's a lot of pride in this business. That's for damn sure.
Oh, it is. There's tons of pride and a lot of ego, especially on the sprinkler side. A
Yep.
lot of
That's
ego.
probably the hardest part about being a foreman is being able to deal with all them egos in one room, one job.
Yeah.
And
And
even
I
if it's not
think,
egos, they're all just personalities, all the different personalities every day.
so I never said this, and I don't, I've been like debating on if I was gonna bring it up, but um, I'll be
Bring it
vague
up.
about it. But so my father, he started a company, and it was a sprinkler company, and then he was doing consulting. And then he had some people that he knew and he's trusted through the industry, and there was, I want to say, four of them, and one was an on-site designer. He did the sales. My father did the sales and the management, and then we had some other guys that did some other things. And I would go by there, and like one of the owners would be like fixing his fishing reel or sharpening a knife, and then like my father said they argued all the time about them doing work. So like his partners just wanted to be owners, not work and kill yourself to get this thing going, and it ended up being a mess. And and then like my father's my hero. So like I see that and it makes me even more hesitant.
Yeah.
But I think I could do it. But that is in
Well,
my
no, you got that's
mind.
like from the outside looking in. You guys are the self starter. You're doing this. You have a mindset, and that's why you would have the ability, if you chose to start your own companies. The hardest thing about being, a business owner is to find good talent. Because when you find the best talent, they're already doing it, and they don't need you. So you would be the guys that I would like, oh, Bob would be a great guy, or you'd be a great sales guy, or how it would be. But why the fuck do you need me? You're already
Yeah.
doing it.
They're already doing it. Yeah, it's got to be lucrative.
Yeah. So
Also,
that's the thing.
I mean, also, so I was actually looking for, I wanted to make more money so I could move into the coffee business, and then it was also gonna be like a transform into a bar at night and stuff. It was it's a great so I wanted to make more money, and I was planning on getting out of the sprinkler system, sprinkler company and industry. But this came up, and I don't know if I want to change it because like it's tons of fun. They say Brian, you could sell anything you want, new construction, service, inspections, tenant, fill, like whatever. Brian, just go. And I was like, this is
Sell that
cool.
shit,
And then
homie.
I'm fully remote. I get insurance. I get a Roth IRA. I get paid time off. I mean, it's not a bad gig.
I don't think it would be. But like for me, what I've learned from having my own shop, and maybe it's just my own closed mind, is that I feel like I guess I used to always think of it's just this, or it's just this, or it's just this, or it's just that. And as as we were running our own company, with little stuff, I realized, wait a minute, it's everything. We got to do coffee, we got to do sales over here, and I think just from being, I guess, grown up to be a worker bee, as I ventured out on my own, I'm like, wait a minute, we're going to do it all. Why
Yeah.
would I ever narrow it down to one thing? Why wouldn't I sell shit to this guy? And why wouldn't I open up my fiance's coffee business? One that's nothing to do with the other. We got to do both, and we got to find a third thing.
Doing both.
Why stop there? And I think that was something that took me a little bit to learn. Is like nothing's mutually exclusive. You don't got to pick nothing. You got to pick it all.
Do it all.
Yeah.
Like you two guys are self-starters. Like I said,
But
you guys would be the hardest to poach. You're doing this because you like it, but that shows a deep character that you're already a doer,
It's
and that's
very
the hardest thing to
insightful.
find. Like that's the most important thing to find. You're already a doer.
Already a doer. That's very insightful.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I think the option is always there.
Very true.
You could always just start,
But even Brian,
start your own
let's say
shop.
he tries four things and fails at three. He still had one home run. Who's fucking better than him?
That's it.
So what's the fucking problem? What are you scared about? What's
One
the
home
issue?
run. Let's do it. Probably.
What if he did
Yeah.
two? What if two worked?
Yeah. So my thing is, I got it pretty good right now. I like what I do, and I'd like to be able to just when work is done, work is done. Work's over. Figure 2 o'clock. Work's done. Till the next day. See you later. I don't have to deal with it at night unless I want to.
Now we say that, but me and Bobby's also had conversations, about business. Of course, I mean, like, how can we not?
Yeah, how can we
But
also like my
if
kid? I
the
think
open tape
my kid would be
eventually,
like my number one worker probably, and he's got like 12 years before he can be a foreman.
if
Setting
if the
mountain
open
you up
tape
a little tomorrow.
has, I mean, we could essentially, I mean, people get paid off podcasts. I mean, we can get paid eventually. Of course, it's not on sports or like fitness or like whatever the other stuff that people watch.
Yeah,
Of course,
people
it's
could
gonna
listen
be
to us on
very
Spotify.
slow.
Spotify might send a little something.
That's what I listen to.
YouTube's kind of a little bit stingy. They're probably not going to give us nothing. You got to get like 1 million views to get 12 bucks or something. So
Yeah,
that'll take a while.
Well, for me, it's just the
well,
behavior. It shows the character, the behavior, and the trend from
man.
the
I
outside
mean,
looking in.
thank you so much for the compliments.
For
We really,
sure.
I mean, that's incredible.
Well, I
That's
thought that I was going to put you on the spot about you starting a company. I listened to a bunch of your podcasts. I'm this motherfucker selling himself short.
Hey, you're the only one, man. We talked about it. We talked about it before.
I listened to a bunch of them. I'm like, this fucking guy selling himself short. The reason why he took a job the job apparently you're in now was because there was no there's no end to the upside. And then as a business owner, I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking lie. There's always an end to the upside if you work for someone. So the only way this guy's gonna get what he really wants is to do it himself.
The
And this
sky's
is
the
my
That's
limit.
notes.
true.
This is in my notes.
This is my notes right here. It
Love it.
says it.
This has
I'm the
been a
guy
great. This
selling
has
stuff
been a
short.
great.
Says it right
You
there.
you came prepared, Steve.
You did. We appreciate
No,
Very,
I
that.
live a life that I want to do excellence in everything I do.
dude. I love that shit. That's what I do too. Doesn't matter
I
what it
want to be the
is.
best
Yeah.
podcast guy for you guys. That's why you wanted to do weeks ago. But now I got to listen to all your shit. So I
Yep.
listened to a bunch of podcasts. I researched what to do to be on a podcast. And they're like, "Oh, you got to
That's
write 5
smart.
stories."
That's
So
it.
we got some stories. We got some. You said, "Hey, got some questions." I thought of Ryan. I got some questions here.
I
Now
spend a
hopefully I'll
lot
be a
of
good
time on.
guest.
I spend a lot of time on YouTube, watching and learning shit. I learn a lot of shit on YouTube. It's a very good. I don't know. I love YouTube. I learned my first time ever working on a foam system. I was just sent out myself as if I knew what I was doing, and fucking
Same here, bud. To get it all
YouTube,
over you.
YouTube taught me. I
You
tried
want to
not.
hear?
I tried not to get it all over me because I know the dangers of it.
No, you want to hear why I was? I was at JFK's original fuel farm,
Oh
and they
geez.
couldn't get their manual pump to start.
Oh great.
I went there. There's a balancing valve. There's a whole bunch of new shit, all this other stuff. I start fucking with the balancing valve. Black shit shoots out all over me. I'm like,
Oh,
what the fuck is that? That is literally blood from fish and the fucking slaughterhouses from the
What?
30s all over me.
oh.
Before AFFF, they used fish and animal blood
Oh.
as the foam.
I
I
probably
got it
would have.
all over
I
me.
would have rather the AFFF. I think
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez.
the guy that came and tested it
days
says
not to
it's
make me
not
smell that.
It's not toxic. The guy that came and tested it, but firefighters said
AFFF will fuck you up.
fucks you up, right?
They will. They see all those lawsuits. Have you been a firefighter in such and such a,
It's crazy.
military base? I'm like, no, I'm a fitter, and I spilled it all over me. What does that mean?
My father like specialized in
So
foam. He did so many
is it
hangars,
skin contact or is it like you have to
like
inhale
like
it
all
or
all
I think it's
contact,
physical.
anything. You get it on your skin, you get it in your eyes, you get it in your
So I've had it
mouth.
all over me many times.
And like the concentrate is obviously the worst
wow.
form of it. You don't want to get the concentrate on you. But then when you're
Well, of
dealing with the
course, yeah.
foam, you're
Because
dealing
I
with
was
pumps,
doing
you're dealing with
bulk
hoses. It's on your
bulk
tools. It's
gas
everything.
fuel.
It's everywhere.
But that JFK, I shouldn't even talk about it on this, but it's gonna burn down. Those
Yeah.
dudes will run for the hill before they start that pre-action system.
Oh, it's a manual only.
No, disgusting. Manual only. And I put like a whole list of this is how you would operate to make a discharge out of the pump house. But then you'd have to run to the fire and be like, oh, it's fuel farm 3-4, and then open up that thing, dump it into this. I'm like, dude, these Jamaican dudes will run for the hills. You will
S-
burn to the ground.
See you
There's
later.
no way they're gonna put this out.
And we'll get a new one then.
But yeah, it was
Jeez.
the wiring was covered in paper.
Paper.
I had to flip. It was a 3-phase motor, but whatever happened, at some point they reversed phases. So I had to flip the phases to make the pump run the right direction, so that it would draw out the foam to this. If they actually ever did it, but it was 50s wiring, like from the like not I had 67, like from the mid 50s when they built this airport. It was paper covered 480-volt wiring,
Woo!
and
That's
just
an
every
old
time you
girl.
touched it, it would just crumble.
That's
The
an
paper
old
just
girl.
crumbled.
That seems like a scary room to be in. Blood guts in your eyes and shit.
No, it's just electrical. Gotcha.
Yeah, oh yeah, that shit will fry you. No one will touch you because you'll be getting fried.
I hope not.
All right, here we are. We're over an hour on the Dope and Tape Show,
That was great.
episode
Who we have
32.
Thursday?
Episode 32. Thursday we got the Simmons brothers.
But before
Simmons
you guys
Brothers.
go, do me a favor. Never sell you guys self short.
Appreciate that, man.
Never sell
Thank you.
yourself short. You heard the man. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. You also can hit the little notification button. You can see when we go live so you don't miss the first few minutes. I usually upload the episodes to Spotify the next day. I could upload it right after, but I like to upload it the next day. The anticipation. Um, yeah. Thank you for coming on, Steve. We appreciate it.
I
Thank you,
couldn't be
man.
happier. Thank
This
you.
is Steve from Long Island, LRJ Mechanical, giving us and it's probably our most insightful podcast show yet. What do you say?
I would say so. We talked about a lot.
We
Sorry
did.
about questioning you, buddy. Put you on the spot, but I
It
just
was
had that
good. It
Hey,
was
feeling.
you're
good
not. It's
questions.
not the first one, man. Not the first
That's
one.
it.
I
We want to
appreciate
be
it.
put on the spot.
We welcome all questions.
Hell yeah! Someday I'll have to
That's
be a
definitely my
guest.
feeling.
Austin, hit me in my DMs. We're gonna get you on as soon as you're ready.
Yeah, but
I'm not lifted.
I
Shout
hit
out
you
from
up though.
Toronto.
When you're ready, you come talk to me.
I will. I promise I will.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
It's
Cause
not
that's
for me. It's for you, bud. I don't give a shit.
yeah. Oh,
No,
this
I
is
really
It'll
awesome.
make my
appreciate it. I
day
really
better.
appreciate it. I definitely will. And I was talking to Ryzen Force, and I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting my own company. I don't know. I just want to talk to you." And we scheduled a Zoom, and then something happened. I couldn't make it, and then we just never got around to it.
This is the way I look at it, though. Before I know you guys want to cut it off, but like Bob, you were saying that like your wife has a clothing thing, right?
Yep.
So she has to figure out all the shit for clothing, how to distribute it, how to sell.
Oh yeah.
You have a shortcut. You know all of Atlanta. You know all the players. You know who needs sprinkler, who needs this and this and this. It's not like this brand new company that's so far fetched or such a long odd to become a clothing company. You're
Yeah.
already in the business and you got the shortcut.
That's
You
so.
already know half the people.
It's very true. Cause she was a teacher before. She was a
Yeah.
teacher, and then she was
You're not a
stay at
teacher
home
becoming
mom,
a sprinkler guy.
stay at home millennial
You're a guy
mom
that
that
knows all the
was
connections that
torn
just calls up buddies and
bored
say,
and started
hey,
her own shit.
instead of writing this check to so and so, you got to write it to Brian from Atlanta fucking Fire. That's the only difference. You want the same service? These other guys suck.
Hire
And
me.
that's
Right.
your competitive advantage.
Competitive. Yeah, that is. He's right. It's very true.
That's true.
It's got us all thinking
It's...
now.
But I'm a glass full kind of guy. I'll ruin your life. Careful.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, everybody. Dope and tape out.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
joining us. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you on Thursday the 9th, 9 p.m. with the Simmons
Teague
brothers.
Brothers,
No, Simmons.
Simmons Brothers.
Simmons brothers.
I get them confused.
All right,
Oh,
guys.
and hey, are we still online?
We're still online. You want me to cut it off or no?
Um, well, I just wanted to shout out to Tyson. He has an interview with another county, so wish him luck.
Oh, awesome. Shout out to Tyson. Good luck. That's right. I seen that in the DMs. That's it. That's
Yeah,
gonna be big. We got
yeah. I hope he gets it, man. I really do.
he's a good dude to
That's
have.
what he
He's a good
wants,
dude
and
to
he's
have in
been
your
getting
corner.
after it. He deserves it.
For sure. He's a fucking smart dude and he's
What's he
killing it
doing?
and he's passionate. I think he's gonna be a fire marshal, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna be a fire marshal in Vegas.
Good for him.
So shout out to Tyson.